Good evening, everyone. Maloa here. I am here tonight with my good friend Thando, and we're here to ask and answer a bunch of questions around getting ready to move our tunes to the new 64-bit servers. So I'm going to start off by just asking Thando, "Hey Thando, how are you doing?"
Hey, all
Uh,
right.
can you briefly introduce yourself to the people?
Okay, I am Thandothos, an elf on Brandywine server. My friends call me Thando. I am a lore master there and also a band leader. I have my own band called Roses and Thorns, and I'm a member of the Dragon Forge band and a member of the acclaimed Brandywine Theater Company.
Lovely. So Thando, how many houses and housing items and clothing items do you have?
I think I'm at about 12 or 13 houses. The,
Wow.
oth- the the other two questions I cannot answer. It I can tell you I have 25 carryalls and they're full. So,
Dang.
and my Mally and I have built half of a neighborhood in Fallathlorn, and we use that for cosmetics for the theater company. So it's full of clothing, all the chests full of
Wow.
clothing.
I can only imagine. Dang. So as everybody is probably aware by now, and even if you're not, SSG announced that they're gonna be launching new servers this month, right? Or in February? February, I think. We don't have.
They are hoping for February.
They're hoping for February, but we don't have an exact date yet, right?
Correct.
Um, so the plan is the whole reason why they're rolling in the 64-bit servers, I believe, is because Windows will probably not be supporting the 32-bit servers for much longer. Is that correct?
That's probably the biggest reason. It's about time that this change came about. And yes, Microsoft's choice to no longer support 32-bit kind of kicked it along, but they wanted to upgrade the worlds anyway, and discovered that the technology wasn't there for them to upgrade the existing servers, so they had to create new ones.
So, what is the benefit of going to 64-bit servers over 32-bit?
I believe the primary one is it supports a larger population for one. So I'm not saying that lag will disappear, but you will see better game performance. And secondly, SSG will be able to upgrade more easily and with at less expense than otherwise.
Um,
So it sets them on the path to being able to
mm.
to upgrade better.
Does this also mean that the graphics will be improved?
I don't know the answer to that one. I
Okay.
hope so. It won't be a massive improvement at on the face of it.
Okay.
I know that the basic engine is going to be able to support a much larger population, uh, and game performance should be improved.
Yeah, I mean, we're how many US servers are there right now? There's Crook Hollow, Landroval, Arkenstone, Brandywine.
Yeah, thank you. That's a good question. I'd have to call up my
I think there's
launcher.
two more that I'm missing. Um, but essentially they're condensing all of those servers down into two servers now, right?
Correct.
So can you speak a little bit about to what's been happening in the community overall in terms to which servers are going where? And it just seems like for looking from the outside in a little bit, it seems like utter chaos. Like everybody's running around with their heads cut off.
Well, let me define the four first, and that'll help clarify a little bit. There'll be two US servers and two European servers. And in the US servers, there'll be a regular one and one that is identified as role play encouraged, which on the old servers, Landroval was a role play encouraged server. Another one like Laurelin was role play. Period. You know, you immersed for real over there. But these two will be one regular, one role play encouraged. Then the exact same thing will exist on the two for the European worlds,
That
and that means Glamdring in the U.S. is the regular server. Peregrine will be the role play encouraged one.
okay.
Otherwise, there's no difference between the two.
Now, we've had on Brandywine server, we've had some European people play with us and Russians and
Hmm.
Australians. Will they no longer be able to connect to Glamdring, or is it just like they're
No,
encouraged to go to the EU servers?
no, that happened back in 2015 when they did a lot of merging of servers, and a lot of the Russian players came to Brandywine. Well, they're still part of Brandywine. They still exist on that.
Hmm.
They can choose to go to a European server if they wish. They cannot transfer their character from Brandywine to a European one, though. There's no transferring between US and Europe. The
Oh,
technology
okay.
doesn't allow that to happen. So you are either going to be US based or European based. You can't go from one to the other. You will not be able
Okay.
to transfer between them.
I did not know that. That's very interesting to know that you can't transfer
Yeah, that
between US and
it
EU
has to do
server.
with old character IDs and so on,
Okay.
and they just can't. The technology won't allow them to connect them.
Okay. So more than likely our Russian and Chinese and Australian friends that are already on our current US servers will probably pick a US server to then go to.
They won't have the choice unless they start over with a new character
Okay.
on the European server.
Okay. Okay. That's good to know. And then I was thinking, um, there are several communities that are now also popping up already for the Peregrine and the Gla- Glamdring servers. Can you talk a little bit about what's happening in the arts and cultural areas?
The music community is looking forward to a whole new sense of unity and a coming together, and that's very exciting to me. I love seeing it. Crick Hollow and Gladden and Brandywine and Landreval, we're seeing music, the music community in general, try to come together a whole lot more than they ever did before. Well, the it's going to be almost like there's no choice because you're squeezing down to two servers.
Mhm, mhm.
So we're going to, but what I'm going to tell you, I'm going to see, I know on Glamdring alone, um, a lot of new music events, a lot of new bands popping up. Brandywine was has a few good bands. They're really good, but there's only a few. So
Mhm.
we're going to see more music events, more excitement. It's going to be a blast. There's going to be a whole new sense of of unity in the music community.
Great. And I want to point out though, not all musicians are just gonna pour into Peregrine. We will still have our Glamdring musicians as well, correct?
We're going to have more than we did before if you think of only what you knew on Brandywine.
Mhm.
If you're coming from another server, you know, Crick Hollow has its own music community and it's a very strong one. Gladden has its own and it's a very strong one, and so on. And they're all going to be coming together on
Okay.
both Glamdring and Peregrine.
Great, great. Yeah, from what I've heard on the rating side of things, it seems that most of the rating communities have chosen to go to Glamdring at this point. At least everybody that I've talked with,
Hmm.
and they've talked to their people, and so forth, it, snowballs down. Because it's the regular server and not the role play server, I think was the initial reasoning behind the Raiders saying, "Okay, well, in that case, we're gonna go to Glamdring."
There was a
Uh,
misunderstanding of it being just a role play, but it's not.
yeah,
It's role play encouraged.
yeah.
So anybody can go
Hmm.
there and be whatever they want to be.
Yeah, initially, I think you're right that that was a misconception.
Uh-huh.
You can still raid on Peregrine, and I know of
Certainly.
at least a couple of kinships that have chosen precisely to go to Peregrine because they want to do casual raiding. Tier one, tier twos. They don't really want to get into the high end T3 and up raiding. So there's definitely room for everybody. I want people to understand that no matter which two of these servers you pick, there will be representatives from everything. We'll have still have
Indeed.
we'll still have our musicians and our raiders. We'll still
Yes.
have those just wanting to do storyline content. Um,
Yes.
we will still have everything on all of the servers. It's not like everybody is, poking a flag into a server and saying we're only doing this. Um, so that's
I love what a friend of ours, Tanis, said in in essence. You're packing up on Middle Earth everything you own to go to Middle Earth. There's no different.
yeah.
You're relocating, but it's the same world.
Hmm. So
You will see new people, but it's the same world.
yeah, I think what I'm looking forward to the most is having the world feel more populated. Um,
Yes.
you know, it,
Yes, SSG wants us all to come together more.
yeah, it would be really nice if I'm walking through Bree or like right now I'm still working on finishing out Legacy of Morgoth and I'm like all alone. I maybe see one other character in an
Mhm.
hour. So it would be nice to have more people populated and running content, not just raids and not just music, but actually storyline and story content and so forth. Um,
And again,
mhm,
SSG wants that because cost-wise, it's better to have more people on fewer servers.
exactly, exactly. A cost benefit analysis, right?
Mhm.
So talking about packing up and moving from one Middle Earth to the next Middle Earth, can you walk us through how the transfers are gonna work? Because there's
Yes.
been a lot of stress around that, and people are afraid that they're gonna lose their stuff.
Um, the first thing I'll say is do not be afraid. It's really very simple. The outline is this. On day 1, SSG is going to give the VIP players and VIP only a chance to reserve their names. And they're going to give the VIP players a chance to reserve 3 names. They're only going to allow you to create 3 characters and reserve 3 names. And so for me, I'm going to log in on day 1, create a new character, name it Thandalthos, and then I'm done with him. There's nothing else I could do because the worlds are not open, but I named him. Then I will pull a second one of my characters over there, give him that name. Well, not pull a character over, but create a new character and give him the second name I want to reserve. And then I can do that a third time, and that's it. So on day 1, it's all about name reservation for VIP players. On day 2, all accounts will be able to transfer from the old servers to the new. And what you will do in order to recover your name, when my character goes over there on day 2, I'm going to run into a name collision because I'm already named the same. Thandalthos already exists, but I created a whole new Thandalthos on Glamdring. So you'll have a name collision. And what will happen is my character from Brandywine is going to get a -1 after his name. The game is going to do that to me. And then the step to take is you delete your name reservation character that you created on day 1. And then you will be given the ability to rename your character with the name you reserved. And that's it. It's done. It's very simple.
So when you log in, so just you do your transfer like you would
Yes.
normally, And then once you get to the load-in screen, you'll see your name. So like Thandalos-1. That
Right.
signifies it's the Brandywine transfer one. The first character that you're gonna log into is your Thandalos one that you created the day before. Not
Uh-huh.
not log in. You're gonna hit the delete on that.
I will delete the first character that I created on day one.
Okay.
That frees up the name that I had reserved.
And then when you go to click on Thandalos-1, do you log in and there's going to be an item in your bag, or is it part
You
of
are
the load-in screen?
you will be able to do slash. Let's see, how does that go? I have that written here. Uh, uh, there's a way to rename your character, and you'll be given that in a in the system.
Okay, so it's a command that we'll type in to do that?
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
so it'll be a chat command to rename your
Here it is.
character.
Slash change name space then the new name.
Let's change name, space. Well, there we go. Slash new name. Okay, so slash change name, space, new name.
Correct.
Okay, and then what happens if you accidentally delete the wrong one? Because I
SSG says names are first come first served basis. If you end up losing your name, you lost your name. You have a opportunity to appeal to them. That will take time because sure enough, the queue is going to be
long.
full and long. Yes, but you can appeal and hopefully get your name back. Don't delete. Yeah, just delete your initial one.
Yeah.
The name reservation character that you created on day one. That's the one you will delete after you log in your main character that gets the -1 after the name.
Yeah. I think people will just need to, be extra conscientious about which character they delete. That they don't accidentally do the wrong one.
Right. You not do not delete the one that has the -1. That's your main character. That's the one you're moving.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're
Okay.
deleting the one that reserved the name in the beginning.
In the beginning. Okay. Good. Um so that takes care of the actual transfer. Now, what do we need to do in game to get ready, get our tunes, get our stuff ready for transfer?
There are things that do not transfer. Mail does not transfer, so empty your mail. To repeat a message from Cordovan, mail is not storage, but people use it. But
Okay.
people use it for storage. You have to empty all attachments in your mail, or it will be erased when you transfer.
Okay.
And anything you have active in the auction house will also not transfer. So you have to clear anything that you have in the auction house. It will not transfer.
Okay.
Those are the two main things that won't go. Now, in order to get ready, your inventory will follow you. There's no need to be concerned about it. It will come with you,
So
all of it.
your bag inventory.
Yes, your bag inventory will come with you. Your housing inventory will go with your house. It will end up in escrow on the new
Okay.
server. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to unhook everything and stick it in an inventory. You don't have to do any of that. And for regular housing owners, do not abandon or sell your houses. SSG is set it up so that you can get 100% of the value of the house when you transfer, so long as you do not abandon or sell it. If it's
So
a premium house, the value will be returned 100% in the form of housing writs. If it's a regular house, it will be returned to you in the form of in-game currency.
Okay, so can you walk us through just an example?
An example, I'm standing here in Belfalas at my big house. It's a premium house. When I transfer, I do nothing to that house. Nothing. And when I transfer, it will be abandoned by the game, and the value of that house will be given to me in the form of housing writs, 100% of the value.
And that's so that when you're on the new server, you can go buy
You can
the
afford
new
to buy a
land.
new one. There is no guarantee you can get the same address because there will be a mad rush for housing.
Land rush.
There will be a mad rush. Everybody has certain locations that they favor and they are going to go for them. But SSG also has added buku neighborhoods to both servers, a couple of hundred. So you will be able to get a new house.
Mm-hmm.
It's just entirely possible you will not get the same address again. There is one other little detail about your housing that you must attend to before you transfer. If you have anything in your house in the hooks that belongs to another player, it must be returned to that player. And I would suggest you do that soon because you want to do it before that player transfers, or that player may not get it.
Mm.
So if a friend of yours has plopped something into your house for you, it belongs to them. It's bound to them, not to you. You must return it to the owner, or you stand the chance of it getting lost in the shuffle. So I would go through my houses and double check and make sure that there's nothing in there that belongs to someone else. In my houses, I have that. I've had to search every house because my friends plant things in my houses all the time. And I've done that in other people's homes. So my personal house storage is already overcapped.
So if you've got 10 houses, or you said 12 houses, if you've got
Yeah,
12 houses on Brandywine, okay, what's going to happen is when you transfer over, all of that's going to transfer over with you. You'll get writs to be able to go purchase new land and same 100% value to what you had, and everything else will go into escrow. Now, with the escrow, is that just going to be like a huge long table of everything that you own, or
it's
how?
going to be massively overcapped if you are anywhere near a housing fiend like I am. And the game will only display so many thousand at a time. So if you have a lot more than that, you have to empty it in order to see the rest of them.
Okay, okay.
But it will be held in escrow for you on the new server. It'll be safe.
Is there a timeline on how long escrow will be available?
I don't have that.
Okay,
No, we don't
okay.
know that yet. Cordovan is going to post an FAQ soon that hopefully will answer all kinds of questions that we don't have answers to yet.
Okay, okay. That makes total sense. And then the other question that people have been asking me is about kin transfers. How
Yes,
is kinship transfers going to work? And
that's
kin
another equally important thing to pay
mhm,
attention to because
especially
there are,
not just the kinship but also the kin houses.
yes, here's how it's going to go. The kin leader, first of all, should not disband the kinship at all. Leave the kinship intact. The game will disband it on the old server and reform it on the new if that simple step is followed. And that's critical. That means the kinship leader must transfer first before any of the kinnies do.
Mm,
Because if a kin member transfers before the kin leader, he will be going to a server where that kin does not exist yet. and he will be booted from the kin
Mm,
because it doesn't exist. So the kinship leader must transfer first in order to have a kinship available for the members to come to. Does that make sense?
yeah, so there's gonna have to be some coordination between the kin
Yes.
leader and the kinship, which is
Yes.
kinda puts me in a difficult position because our official kin leader hasn't been on in game for 8 months, 9 months. So if I guess in the in the case that you're unable to track down your kin leader, the only other
Mm.
option is maybe for a kin officer to go over and create the same name and then one by one get people in, right? Manually.
That's a good question. The thing is about the kinship transfer is that if the kin leader transfers first, the game will disband the kin on the old, reform it on the new, but all of the data relevant to that kin remains intact.
Okay.
Rank, history, uh, all of that. If it gets disbanded and done and gone, then you lose all of that.
Oh
And when you
yeah.
start over, you're starting over from rank one.
Yeah.
I do not know what you can do as far as an absentee kin leader. That's another good question.
Yeah. So I've yeah, pretty much what you've told me is what I've been telling people is like, look, if you want to transfer as a kinship and with the caveat that you want to stay with your kinship, right?
Right.
Because not everybody wants to stay with their kinships.
That's
Um,
entirely possible. Yes.
is the kin leader needs to transfer first.
Yes.
Um, so I guess the only way that you would know if that's happened is if you logged into the Brandywine server first and checked the kinship status
Right.
to make sure that it's disbanded, correct?
Or reformed. Yes.
Um, yeah, but see, the thing is that say I'm just a regular person in my kinship,
Hmm.
um, and I want to maintain my role in everything. Um, do I like how do I know my kin leader has transferred over?
That's communication between you guys.
Okay,
You will have to, he or she will have to coordinate that and say, this is when I am doing it.
okay. Or
That's
send
going to require coordination.
and communication.
Yes.
So
Yes.
so that people know like, look, I'm transferring at this time on this date. Make sure you transfer after that, not before it.
Correct.
Otherwise you may
Will
end
be
up
booted from the kin. Yes.
so Timothy Price is asking, what about usurping the leader? I think that that is possible, but there's a certain time requirement that they need to be um gone. Oh, it's Steel Oak.
High steel oak.
So Tanis is answering, yes, LOTRO states if the kin leader hasn't logged in for 35 days, the successor can usurp the leader. Okay, that is totally good to know. Except in my case, my successor is sick in the hospital and won't be on for a couple of weeks.
That'd be one more thing
Yeah,
after another.
yes. So I think the kinship that I'm in is pretty much screwed. We're just gonna have to start fresh, which is gonna be a pain in the butt. But you know, at least we'll also be playing together at the end of the day. What happens to the kinship house?
Second good question. This is where it's different from the other homeowners. The kin leader must abandon the kinship house before he or she transfers, but do it when the announcement's made in order to be able to recoup 100% of the value.
So, okay, so with the kinship house, the leader must abandon
Yes.
kinship house. Okay, and does all of when it is abandoned, does everything go into escrow?
Now, that goes back to the same discussion earlier on the regular housing.
Mm-hmm.
Again, anything bound to other players other than the kin leader must be returned to owner before the abandonment takes place and before the transfer takes place. Or it should be anyway.
So pretty much,
And everything that's
okay.
not bound will go with the kin leader.
So anything in the house, I want to specify, kinship house
Yes.
needs to be transferred to its owner. Um, and then after the kinship house is emptied out, then they should abandon it.
Yes.
Now, so okay, so if the kin leader transfers first, that means they'll maintain the kinship rank, which means they'll be able to get another kinship house, right?
Yes.
So how are the writs going to work in that case?
Those writs will be in the possession of the kin leader
Okay, the kin leader should end up.
because the kin leader is considered the or is the owner of the kin house.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. All right. Yeah, I think most of that makes sense. Do you guys have any questions? The audience. We have a couple of people on. Okay. So yeah, I think that the abandoning house stuff, I think that causes confusion. Because I've had some people tell me, "Oh, you gotta abandon." Others say, "No, you don't have to abandon." So thank you for completely clearing that up for us as to it's only the kinship houses that need to be abandoned, but the
Right,
regular
right.
houses will transfer as is. Okay, so
The
mhm.
you will get back the full value of them if you do not abandon them on the regular housing. Yes.
Yeah. So Tannis is asking same process for personal housing and kinship housing, it sounds like. I'm gonna let you answer that.
Same process?
Yeah, that's what he's saying, but no. The answer is no.
Yeah. Kin leader must abandon the kinship house. Everyone else does not abandon their home.
Because the homes will transfer in escrow on the new server.
The value of the homes get returned to the owner, and the belongings in the homes get put into escrow on the new server.
So really the only thing that we need to do in game to prepare is make sure we give everybody their stuff back.
That's one main thing. Yes.
It's like, when you're preparing to move in real life and you have a book from this person and a dish from that person, you
Hmm.
need to return them because you may never see them again, right?
And that power saw from your neighbor that you never gave back. Yes.
So yeah, you got to return everything to everybody that it belongs to because it's their assets and it'll transfer with them. And
You
then they
do.
can give it back to you. So that's the
No one.
main,
No one has to unhook all of their belongings.
yeah.
You don't have to do that. You
Even
only have to return things that do not belong to you.
yeah, even in kinship houses.
In kinship houses, you only have to return to owner all of the
Okay.
items bound to other people.
So if
The
I'm
items that are not bound, when the house gets abandoned, goes into the kinship leader's escrow.
got it.
Or on this server, actually, it'll go to his personal chest or hers,
Okay, makes sense. And then once you transfer
and then it
over,
goes
yeah,
with them.
yeah,
Yes,
yeah. Okay. So far I can see three things that we need to do before we move. Give everybody their stuff back. Make sure our mail is empty. Make sure we've got nothing in auction house. And if we're a kinship leader, make sure we abandon the kinship.
that's right,
Okay,
and it's that simple.
cool.
There is another facet to this. If I can speak to those who have for instance, bands on other servers or tunes on
Mhm.
other servers,
Mhm.
there's going to be a consolidation. For instance, my band, Roses and Thorns, has a presence on 6 servers currently, and we're going down to just 2. That means I'm probably going to be deleting a couple of bands. They're no longer going to exist because I'm only going to need one for Glamdring, one for Peregrine, but I'm also going to have a presence on the European servers.
Mm. Oh,
Um, the thing I want to bring up is the transferring of shared storage. You
okay.
will be given the ability to freely transfer storage from one server to another into the new ones. Stuff I have over on Landreval can come to me on Glamdring. Stuff I have over on Evernight that I don't have on Brandywine can come to me over on Glamdring by way of the shared storage transfer.
Mm.
That's a separate action to take, and you can take the time to transfer stuff from all over the place over and over.
So that brings me to a question. Your shared storage is not going to transfer, right?
The contents do, yes, but your shared storage is going to be open and available to use over and over again during this time period for free.
Okay.
You can right now pay LOTRO points to transfer shared storage from, say, Gladden to Crick Hollow,
Okay.
but it costs you
Is
to
that
do that.
is that one of the selections we'll get to make during transfer, or is it just going to
There,
automatically
that's
do
in there. That's in there in your in the transfer
options?
uh, in the transfer wizard. Yes.
Okay, that's good to know because I've transferred a character before, but I didn't know that that was an option. Okay, so there's
So there's a couple of
okay.
items that my tune on Vanderval accumulated for one reason or another, Hoppet gifts or whatever, that I
Mhm.
wish I had over on Brandywine.
Mhm.
Now I can get those items over into Glamdring to my main character by way of free shared storage transfer.
Nice. Okay. So I guess if you want to be super organized and make sure that you don't necessarily have um send all duplicates to one server but spread them out evenly, you'll have to do some sort of inventory management to make sure that you're sending things the direction that you want them to go.
Hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to go to uh, my Evernight characters. That band is going to move to a European server, but I can take whatever's in his inventory there on Evernight, and by way of free storage transfer, I can move that stuff to Glamdring,
Okay.
just in the shared storage.
So just gonna read you a couple of questions here. You can answer them for us.
Hmm.
So, Steel Oak's asking, what about premium kinship houses that were purchased with real money?
Everything is given to you in housing writs on premium housing. Cordovan and Severland made that clear previously. There's no real money refund. So it will all be done in housing writs for premium, in-game currency for regular.
Because presumably that house that was purchased is connected to a tune, right? To a character.
Yes,
And so when you transfer that character, that escrow and roots is gonna appear on the new server.
yes.
Okay. Evie is asking, do you have to empty the kinship house before it is abandoned?
You have to return to owner bound items. Anything else that is unbound will go with the kin leader. When the house is abandoned, it will go into the kin leader's uh, escrow or personal housing chest.
Okay. Plus size is asking what is meant by shared storage. Is that what's in our vaults?
Yeah,
Can you just show
if
maybe
you
on the screen
look on the
which
screen, yes, I've called up my inventory bags and I'm clicking on my VIP bauble. So the second one in there is the vault.
that's your personal
Uh,
vault?
That's my personal vault. Then I go back, and right underneath it is open shared storage. That is a storage for all of your tunes on your account. You can move items between your characters on your account by way of shared storage. So no matter if I logged out of Thando and logged onto my dwarf, I can access this same shared storage. This is a way for me to give him things that I want him to be able to use, and so on.
Mm-hmm.
This is what gets. Uh, this is what you can use to transfer inventory from one server to another,
Mm-hmm.
and you will be given the opportunity to do it free for a period of time. That means you can transfer over and over and over again from one server to another during that period of time at no cost.
Is this the same or different as a character transfer?
It's it when you character transfer, everything goes with you.
Mm-hmm.
But you have the ability in the wizard to just transfer shared storage alone.
Oh, okay, okay. I wasn't quite understanding that before. So you don't have to transfer a character to transfer shared storage.
Correct.
Okay.
That's why I say you can go to one of the other servers, put stuff in the shared storage that you want to move to your main character on the new server, and then boom, you've sent it there. Then go to another server, get
Okay.
that main character, fill that shared storage, transfer it to your main on the new server. Boom, it's done.
Nice.
But those
Okay.
characters still exist on those servers. You haven't done anything with them yet.
Mm-hmm.
But
Mm-hmm.
you've moved the shared storage instead by itself.
Okay. So the way I can see it playing out for me personally, um, I am planning on just moving everything to Glamdring. So in that case, I am just gonna transfer characters. I I I do not really have a situation where I need to send some things to Peregrine and some things to
That's fine.
Glamdring. But for those that do need
Yes,
to do that, um,
if you want to consolidate inventory,
yeah,
if you want to recover something special that you accumulated on another server, you
yeah.
this is how you recover it and get to keep it.
So maybe I'm just thinking out logistically here. Maybe it'll be easier to just transfer everything to one server, right? S- Be able to see everything you have and then transfer stuff over to
That's a
um,
route you can
the other
take, sure.
server. But that becomes a really super long list. Um,
For some of us, it will be. For
depending.
some of us, it's going to be quite the process.
Oh boy. So yeah, okay, I can understand why, it's gonna be time consuming for people that have like 12 houses. Or in some cases, I know I have a friend that has 43 characters. So for
Yes, and advanced characters on multiple servers.
yes. So having characters on multiple servers also makes this super, super tricky. Okay, somebody has a question. Do the vault storage sizes remain the same? Will the max sizes you can purchase increase?
Everything that you have purchased and intact and left intact when you transfer goes with you. That's why it is recommended you do not abandon your house beforehand. But your storage, though, that's your vault. That's separate. That belongs to your character. That has nothing to do with the housing. So that whatever your character has right now goes with you.
Yeah. So I mean,
You're not starting
mhm,
over. You're just traveling through the wormhole to a whole different Middle Earth, but you're the same character.
mhm. Um, I mean, because here's the thing, right? You wouldn't even have room in your shared storage or your vault to really keep everything that's in your houses.
No.
Um, so,
And you can't overcap yourself by adding to it.
mhm,
Now, my personal housing storage is currently overcapped because my friends are returning things to me that I've had in their home. When you return to owner, it will go into that chest and it will overcap it. If my chest is only 60 slots, it's going to end up being maybe a couple of hundred.
Is there an easy way to return something to somebody without having to mail it?
You don't mail it. You just click on it in the hook,
Can
and
you
there's a
sh-
button at the bottom that says return to owner.
can you show us?
Yes, let me get into decoration mode and go over here. And you see over on the left, right there at the bottom, return to
Mhm.
owner. You
Okay.
just click that and it's gone.
And does that put it in their escrow or their how do they
No,
receive it?
it will put it into their current personal house chest.
Okay. All right.
That's why doing it now is a good idea.
Okay. Tanis is asking, are bound to character items moved with a shared storage transfer tool available to a character of the same name on the different server, or are they restricted to the original character ID?
Shared storage is account wide. So if it's Thando on Brandywine and uh, my dwarf might be on another server, well, no, it's going to be Thando on the other server. I'm Thando everywhere. All my Thandos are all one account. So all of those items in shared storage can go to the new server. If we are referring to bot accounts, band members, that's a separate account. So
Mm.
the answer would be if it's bound to that bot, no, it won't go to the main character because it's bound to that bot.
So I can also speak to this because the one transfer that I did, um, I did, now that I think about it, I did do a shared storage transfer. And I ended up with items that was for I hadn't returned stuff to my other characters, like we're telling everybody to do. And so on the new server, I had those items now stuck in my shared storage, and I couldn't destroy them because wasn't logged into the character with that name to be able to destroy it, if it makes sense. So this step of making sure that you return everything to its owner is extremely important because it's not something that you're going to be able to do in retrospect.
This is how things can get lost.
Yeah.
This is one of those very rare times where something can get lost or misshipped, misdirected. So yes, it's very important to go through your homes, check every item, make sure they're yours, and if they're not, you click return to owner and clean them out.
Yeah. No tennis, there's no other workaround with the shared storage. You have to return to owner before you start transferring the shared storage. Um, just because, like I said, you'll end up in a situation where if you don't have that character on that server, you're gonna be using up one of your shared storage stuff. I still have that. I don't. Yeah, so don't be me. Don't make the mistake I did. Um,
There's
well,
one more thing,
uh-huh.
and that's your wardrobe.
Okay, yeah, walk us through that.
Your wardrobe is not a storage chest or storage compartment or vault or anything. It is simply copies of cosmetic. So what's in the wardrobe is not an actual physical item insofar as it can be physical in a virtual world. They are copies. So you can, if for instance, I have my wardrobe has 400 slots and it's full.
Can you show
It's
us?
max, sure, and it's full. So there, I'll move it to the middle here. 400, and it's maxed. It's full. I want this wardrobe to be repeated on Peregrine. Now, Thando is going to move to Glamdring, but he's going to have a presence on Peregrine. That Thando over there does not currently have this wardrobe, but he can now, because this wardrobe can be transferred to all of my tunes, all of my main account tunes on whatever servers they exist on. So if Thando's going to be on all 4 new servers, Thando can have all this wardrobe on all 4 new servers.
So how do you transfer
It
that?
transfers with the shared storage.
Ah, okay. So you could
You
literally.
want to be careful of that
Hmm.
because you want to, if there's something on another server that you don't have on this one, you can use the wardrobe to move that, to move those cosmetics. Now, your wardrobe will end up overcapped and you'll have to dump some stuff out when you get to the new one.
Mm,
One
okay.
of the things to be aware of, and this is for the cosmetic nuts like me, go through the wardrobe and get rid of everything that is uh, extra, superfluous, or even the items that are unbound because I already have the physical copies. I could put it back in anytime I want. Stuff, though, that's bound that you can't get again, that you don't have the original of anymore, don't delete them. This is a whole nother project for people. It will take time,
Okay.
but it's possible to recreate this current wardrobe I have right here of 400 on all 4 servers when I transfer, when I relocate.
So you can't transfer characters from US to EU, but you can transfer storage.
Oh, you hit me with a question, did you?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think that that's how it works. I think you can only transfer shared storage and characters within US and within EU.
That might be true, and that's going to be something I'm going to look for in the FAQ that Cordovan publishes soon.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
want that to be clarified. That's a very good question.
Okay. Well, glad I could help. At least I have some good questions.
I just seem in the back of my mind to think that there's something different about transferring shared storage rather than a whole character. But that's a good question. We'll have to
I
get an
don't
answer to
know,
that.
right? That's a good question to ask maybe for clarification.
Yes,
It would be super nice if you could, but
I will be happy enough if Thando on both Glamdring and Peregrine
have
have this
access.
full wardrobe.
Yeah, have access to everything. That would be nice for sure.
For those of us who are in the Brandywine Theater Company, this is very, very important
Now,
for costuming.
coming back to the shared storage thing, um, I assume that if I don't transfer shared storage with my, I'm just trying to think of corner cases here. So if I transfer over, so what I shouldn't do is transfer shared storage first, because or can I do that? I guess I have to have a tune on the server we're going to in
Correct.
order to do the shared storage transfer.
Correct.
Okay.
That's something that can happen afterwards.
Yeah. So you can't transfer storage and then transfer your tune. You have to do the tune transfer first.
Yes.
Or a tune transfer or create a tune on that server.
That's in your account. Yeah, the same account.
That's in the same account in order to then do the shared storage. Okay.
There's another faucet to that,
Mm-hmm.
and that's your wallet.
Okay.
Your wallet transfers with your character. Um, items that are green, well, for some people, there's a color blindness issue or a color issue in the game. There are shared there are items in your wallet that's shared across your account, such as script
Mm-hmm.
and other kinds of tokens. And then there are others that are character bound that are not shared across the account. When you do a shared storage transfer to another world, the green items will go, and then they go to one place and one place only, and that's to that main character in the new world. When you do a shared storage transfer to a different server, those items won't go with. They stay with your main character that they went to first. Those are just, I'm just speaking to green wallet items.
Okay.
So there's no way you can cheat on script or uh, figments or any of those things.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Makes sense. Um,
Your legendary reward track will not transfer.
oh, so we need to clear out our reward track as well?
Clear your reward track. Your reward track will not transfer. When you get to the new world, the track starts over from zero, which is interesting because you can, if you can grind it, you can get things twice until it expires.
Mm-hmm.
But the legendary reward track will not transfer. So yes, empty it out.
I am making some cliff notes real quick. I'm gonna
Mm.
just drag this over so everybody can see what I'm typing up here. So I've got here labeled top things to do. So first, clear your reward track. It will not transfer. Clear your mail. It is not storage. Clear your auction house. It won't transfer. Personal housing. Um, that's gonna be return any items that belongs to someone else, and um, you don't have to unhook anything, and you no do not abandon your house
Correct.
because otherwise you're not going to get the writs. Um,
Correct. If you want 100% value back, do not abandon or sell your house. If you do abandon or sell your house first, you're only going to get, I think, 90%.
mhm,
So it's just about making a wise choice.
mhm. Then for kinship transfer, here I have kinship leader must transfer first in order to transfer the kinship. Do not disband the kinship before leader transfers. Um, once leader is on, once leader has logged onto into the new server, the game will automatically populate the
It will
kinship
reform the kin.
info.
Yes.
It will automatically reform the kin. Um, kinship house transfer. Here we have, once again, return any items that belong to someone else. Um, kin leader does not have to unhook anything, but they, here it is, must abandon house.
Kin leader must abandon kin house.
Yeah, okay. Kin leader must abandon kin house. Okay. Um,
But I will also say right there, don't do it prematurely. Wait until it's time so that you get 100% value.
okay. Wait until it's time. So you
Day
get.
one, when day one arrives.
Okay. Um, the other thing to add here is if VIP, you can log on day one to reserve your character name. Day two, transfer over your character. You'll have like Maloa-1, delete the character you created
Created. Hmm.
on day one. Log into Maloa-1. This is your transferred toon. Then use the command slash, I have it up here.
Change name.
Yeah,
One word.
slash change name,
Space. New name.
space, and then Maloa.
Yes.
Okay, great. I think that sums everything up, right? Did I miss anything?
No, I will
Oh,
just go back to the
the shared
beginning.
storage. Sorry.
Oh, yeah.
Shared storage can be transferred separately from a character transfer. You you can use this to move things around
Yes.
between servers without having to move your characters.
Yes. I wanted to go back to the beginning on the day one, two, and three. Day one,
Mm-hmm.
VIP players get to create characters for name reservation. The world is not open yet. The server is not open yet. Day two, characters can be transferred for name recovery. The world is still not open yet. You still cannot log on to
Okay.
Glamdring or Peregrine or wherever. Day three, the world's open
Okay,
and you
so
get to play.
say that again. Day one
Day
is
one and day
name
two, yes,
reservation. And then day
yes.
two, what did you call that? Name
Day two is
recovery.
for character transfer and your name recovery. The world is still not open. That's something I forgot to mention at the beginning. Day three, the world's open and you get to play.
World is open and you get to play. I'm gonna just make a note here also. Be very, very careful to make sure you delete the toon you created on day one. Okay, there's a question here. I think my kinship kin house belongs to an inactive kin member and not the kin leader. Does that matter?
That's a very good question that I hadn't encountered. That's an interesting question. I have always been under the assumption the kin leader owns the house.
Well, could it be a situation where the person that owns the house used to be the kin leader and aren't any
Yeah.
longer?
Yeah, so then I would double check ownership of that house.
Yeah, I agree with you there. In that case, I would go and check who's the owner of that house. Um, and then, it's once again the matter of making sure that everything gets back to the person that owns it, that it's bound to. And if anything's bound to that inactive kin member, it's going to stay with that inactive kin member. I think that's how I would interpret it,
That's
right?
probably how it'll go.
Yeah.
That's an interesting twist that I hadn't encountered. But I would be assuming that the kinship house belongs to the kin leader. Um, yeah, double check the ownership.
Yeah. So guys, I've typed up these nice notes. You guys are welcome to just take a screenshot of it real quick if you like. I'll also be posting it on the several Discord servers that I'm involved with.
And,
Um,
and before we end, I will
yeah,
say everybody should go to lotro.com and look at the forums and look for Cordovan's FAQ
that'll be
uh,
post coming out.
when it comes out, because that will answer things even better than I have been able to. Because things change, and
Yeah,
there some of the things we discussed might have some details that have been changed. So the FAQ is going to be what we all should be looking for.
I'll just put your Cordovan from SSG will be posting an FAQ in the next couple of weeks for
Or sooner, we hope.
with the final details.
There was a part of me hoping that I had that to read this weekend, but it hasn't come out yet. They are
Okay.
really trying to work out every detail they can think of,
Yeah.
which is why I think this FAQ is going to be very critical for all of us to read.
Yeah, probably so maybe what we can do, Thando, is once it does come out, have you back on to walk us through it. Um if anything's
That can
changed,
happen.
if you're
That can happen.
willing to
There,
come back.
it's entirely possible Cordovan and Severlin might get back together again uh, for another chat about it. So they can do it better than I can. That's for
Yeah,
sure.
that's for sure. Evie is asking, so should the new kin leader empty the kin house before transfer, given our previous situation? I think the only thing that the kin leader could do, new kin leader could do, is make sure that everything returns to the characters that they're bound to.
The unbound items, yeah, you might as well in that specific instance, you might as well be safe and unhook those things.
Yeah,
I think that's the exception, not the rule, though, and an answer to that I hope is forthcoming.
yeah,
But in order to be safe on that one instance, yes. On any other instance, don't unhook everything in your houses. Don't do it. It's you don't have the inventory space sometimes, and it's just not worth it. It'll go with you.
yeah. Okay. So yeah, I mean, I can totally see why people are like, this is gonna be so much work.
It's really not. It
Yeah.
really is very, very simple if you just
And
step back and take a look and say, I know I need to do this, this, and this, and
yeah.
that's it.
And at least, on the other side, once we are all on the new servers, you can take your time putting everything back the way you like it.
Oh yeah, some of us are going to need a lot of time.
So just think, you get to create from scratch. It should be fun.
Um, uh, Speaking of that, if I may,
Uh-huh.
for those of you who are housing fiends and have really nicely decorated homes, take screenshots of everything with floaty names up. Make a folder for that house, um, and take screenshots and save them into that folder so that when you're on the new server and you buy a new house, you have a reference for putting things back where they were.
Good advice. I was cleaning my keyboard this weekend, and I took a picture before I disassembled it. It
Yeah.
made
Yes.
it made like and like look, I know where everything in my keyboard is, but even I was like, wait, where does this one go?
Hmm.
And so since I
Yeah.
had the photo, it just made things 100 times easier.
Same principle for your
Yeah.
house. If you want to be able to put it back the way it was, take screenshots from every angle with your floating names up so that the items are identified.
Mm, mm.
And that way you can have reference pictures for putting your house back together again. And you will be able to say, oh, that item was one that I returned to so and so. Now I go to so and say, can I have that back, put back here, please?
Mhm. Yeah. Any more questions from the audience? Then I want to thank you so much for taking the time and answering all of these questions. Evie says she has a question. What's
Uh oh.
what's the question, Evie? Um, Jamie says, "Well done."
Thank you.
I do want to thank Thando for his time and coming out tonight and setting all of this up and helping us. If you are on the Brandywine server or Brandy Wiped Discord server, I'm sure if you have questions, you can send a tell to Thandol Foss and see if he can answer anything. But like I said, the FAQ will be coming out in a couple of weeks, and hopefully, when that drops, we'll have Thando back on to answer some of these questions.
And hopefully, new questions get answers and all other things get clarified. That's
Yes,
what we all hope for.
that's all we can hope for. All right, thank you, everyone. That's going to conclude tonight's episode. I really appreciate everybody for coming out. So, thanks for watching.